chance to do a feature. I thought I'd try and mix it up a little bit, so a little bit political, a little bit light. So before we start with something like a little bit old, not this year, like put this year aside, just do something old, like 2023. Okay, so as I walk down this corridor alone, I go in the next room to look at my phone, and as I stand on the crushed pieces of that phone, I start to pick them up and put them in the bin. And lately I've put way too many of my memories in the bin, so I'll pick up again to start this thing. So I open up this tin, find this line from this broken heart of mine, about enough time, and a fractured hairline asks, where is the time? Because we work to live, work to give, and that's why I treat work like home, so come take a throne and put down your phone. Because lately I've been too busy trying to serve you lot a drink, I haven't had time to think, so I've come out here to collect. And I'm sorry to get wet, and you know I don't forget unless I've had too many blueys. That's why I try to stay off the beat. But thank God I never did beat, because I always did like this treat. And my whole life has been a trip, and I'm sorry if you can't accept it, but this is my life. And how are you going to write in God's book with your pen, and do you really sleep well in your den, and could you rest well in number 10? Because he's the reason I've been working my lines like a madman, so I put 30 on the clock, because from my heart, my bars just can't stop. But here we are. Elsie. Home of the Fox and home of the Rat, and it's our town and I still tap. It's 92,666 and I'm still hitting bricks from here to the A6. But tonight I put some sunnies on because the street lights are getting bright, but I can't see any real faces tonight, just masks on tasks. We want to comprise the mask force for the task force. So if you're still taking part in the pantomime, muzzle it up and zip it up, and shut it up and wait for your next 5p fuel cut. And whilst they shut it up for the next cut. Sounds like more tax for Richard Sunak. So no, Mr. Sunak, you ain't got back. The 5p fuel cut back is whack crap. I can't clap to that. I don't want to know how much crack they smoke to expense that crap. It's almost like they brought the booby traps from the motorways to the cities. And it's us who has to live this. And what will Biden's next executive order be? Crypto or crack pipes? Or contracted child killers? Because I think he's trying to kill us. And I don't want no magic gunpowder cigarettes or high security bets. But around here I just saw it flop £1.99.9. It'll be the last time. And it makes me think of a memory of mine when I got hot locked down in London town to rock. But it's 2023 now and I'm still in bedrock, aka the kids around. Fucked it time.
I lost my mojo. If you find it, let me know. I looked everywhere, under the sofa, behind every crook and crevice in Soho. Across the channel I sailed upon hearing it was internationally mailed. The cost of diesel was cheaper, but outlook only bleaker. I asked around in broken French, I was given directions, but I knew they had no idea what I meant. At first glance, it couldn't be found in France. I knew I'd only missed it by a minute or 10, so back on the road I went. So I switched things up, but my German wasn't much better. They thought I'd come all this way just to collect a letter. I rode the tram in both directions, the only way it seemed to really do some reflection. After so much searching, I needed some calm. I found a nearby forest, but alas, I couldn't chill. All I could hear was the sound of cars driving past. I wrote clues in my detective notebook, far from letting it off the hook. All my leads led only to trees that laughed at my soaked-through shoes from rain-drenched leaves. I searched a Belgian coastal town, sporting my newly tattooed frown. All I saw were confused faces when I asked them where the correct place is. I drove on two-lane motorways for what felt like forever and the day. Up behind every truck I would scold, inspecting every cargo hold. On and on and on this went. I knew it wouldn't find refuge in Ghent, because like me it'd be a grief to pay the low emission levy each day. I stopped in a town called Halle, wondering if it was raving in Ali Pali. The Belgian beer didn't help my focus. All I wanted to feel was getting closer. My continental search was almost through. I could hear the homeland calling, it's true. Clearly it had escaped to faraway lands, disrupted as ever my imperfect plans. Driving home with an empty boot, my mojo somewhere, running aloof. A clearer head, despite the hangover, success still remained no closer.
Okay, so let's go for every friend and foe. This year, part 10, I'm starting fun. Because it's live from the streets, because I live from the streets and hand in hand I live off this land. And yes, COVID-19 me up from Britain being when I really saw who was on my team, but some I can't argue with. Because last night, well, I got robbed by the robot because I just forgot and I couldn't stop putting them coins into stock, too busy trying to stand this test of time. When everyone watches front stage to the pantomime, and yes, that show had me looking like Homer Simpson, that doesn't matter, Ultraman, my super tramp, excuse me please, because my ship is fully rattling and my window's just fully dropped, but I'm still standing, and excuse me the vet. But my ship looks and feels like a tent, and God forbid I have to abandon ship, but sometimes, yes, I'm behind, push for time, forgetting every line, and if we were drawing lines, we've just lined a notebook, and why I'm shook as fuck, and why I've been trying to find a new alternative. Because these lot on haze on days winding me up. Got me looking like Bruce Banner ready to pick up this bloody fucking spider. Because last night, Jerry Forrest Johnson gave the whole country a golden shower, so smashed up the tweed and the power. But these lot, and these kids today, well, they're fucking crazy. And yes, I'm a water baby going crazy. Because he climbs these snakes and ladders, he's awake, and he sees through these snakes and fakes and the takes, and he still gives them the shake before they try to pull his brakes. And I don't mean to gloat, but you ever at the back of a £50 note, and how many times did you change your mask, and did you stick to task, and will petrol hit £2 and will you blow your lid kit? Because the house is burning down and the fire extinguisher is empty, but I try and sit and get wet and watch the sunset in my hot box and my box of jocks waiting for this rain to stop. So if I don't, it's going to be a meltdown in Melttown, in this town, and no thank you to a frown or a TSB mega meltdown. So peace out to every town. For real, get down, let's go. Thank you.
I don't normally hate on people that are innocent, but I'm a Sheffield United fan, and you can guess where this is going. But what is innocence? Is driving around town looking for girls too drunk to stand in chip shops the behaviour of someone with innocent intentions? Oh, an idiot on a night out, but a top bloke, some blades to cry. Not in my eyes. Are you innocent, Ched Evans? I don't know. I wasn't there, but I do care about a woman's right to be, about a female's right to go to the chippy and not be the subject of a phone call between two blokes to say, I've got a girl. I voiced my objections, I called for his rejection. Other fans called me a traitor. My personal favourite was, when he scores facing the Kop, will you not celebrate? But I tell you now, if the man scores a winning goal in the FA Cup final, it will always be tainted. Whether we did or didn't do it, it's not even my point. Are our morals so disjointed that we support this man's behaviour? Do we want our sons to grow up thinking drunk women are there to be taken, hunted like prey, led to a car and whisked away? Why can't a drunk female get a greasy chip butty without being subjected to your guilty intentions? And admittedly, for me, overturning the guilty verdict was unexpected. But if you're innocent as you claim you are, why did you leave the hotel by the fire exit? Why did, when you entered the building, you told a lie? It doesn't sound like the actions of a man who has nothing to hide. It's not uncommon. You can't deny it. Back to your place with a girl, she's a bit pissed. Do you try it? Hell no if you respect the opposite sex. Damn no if you have any morals to vex. Man, this is fucking basic. The fact I'm having to explain this in 2023 makes me fucking frustrated. In these days of me 2, me 3, me 4, 5 and more, 4.5 billion tales of behaviour to deplore. What I'm saying, fellow blades, is see past the fact who was found innocent in court. Don't we want the next generation to grow up with more positive thought? If that's the case, we must set the example. Stick to your values with no disclaimer preamble. And I know it's sad, we live in times where our heroes and statues are being torn down across lands, and you're disappointed to learn he's another fallen hero with guilt on his hands. But let's be brave and be strong and not get it confused. Let's stand up for the abusers. Stand up for the abused. We can make this world a better place for our women. On the stands of Bramall Lane is where the story begins. Have your own mind. Don't be led by the pack. Stand your ground, even if your opinion's attacked. Let's treat women, treat fucking people with the respect they deserve. Imagine that was a loved one before you defend the absurd. So yes, Ched Evans, I respect that you may be innocent in the eyes of our justice system, but in the eyes of innocence and real men, you are unforgiven.
Cool. It's called Starving. And as I bring my pump to my poetry, I pour my mind through these pores, down on the pier, because I wish you were here. Because it does not even feel like the UK, it feels like 1 million miles away. So let's go, let's start, let's storm the International Knesset. Start with Naftali Bennett, and then we'll finish the Hong Kong protest, because I'm not hungry, I'm starving. And you can't make peace with a military state built on hate. It ain't happening, mate, it'll be checkmate, mate. But I'll give enemy Dominic Raab credit for not taking the knee for false solidity, but I'd lock him up today for his foreign policy. It's about time someone raised the flag for Palestine. But only history will stand the true test of time and the future of an Israel without a Middle Eastern oil supply. But tell me, how can they only fly one flag and push the categorical tag. Is their tongue only used now as one? Because they sure don't speak for everyone, because what about those who are caught and distraught between the flag and the colour of their skin? But shh, you're saying that, son, the computer's on and that's wrong. But tell me, Father, Bezos thinks he's a new shepherd. Who does that make you? I don't know, son. If they're going to make me live in lockdown, I'll live outside. Because I feel like doing a Boris Johnson, son, dossing. So bring me that lock clown down to Rafa Crossing, or hang him for all those who are long lost and forgotten, because they got more money than sense in this century. But tell me, what is Britain doing in the Black Sea? But smell another rat, another top cat. I know they use Corona to bring down the Hong Kong protest, which the whole world still has not noticed, because the mob wouldn't work, and they're ripping up the court books and shutting down the airports and bricking police families' houses. Chinese government scared of little mouses. And yes, we do live in glass houses, but mine's a museum. Would you like a tour? I'll take you to every floor. You take the lift, I'll take the stairs. Or fuck it, if you spend too long in the lift already, we'll take the stairs together. The top floor 977, and we'll skydive into Fuck It Town, and welcome to my world.
This poem's called The Land of My Father. The land of my father is a beautiful place, but if it was a person, there'd be tears on its face, with wrong-fitting shoes and one odd lace. A human with a history of depression, and too many scars to give each one a mention. It'll be someone with a tendency for violence, one of those people who always suffers in silence. Someone with a warped state of mind and a tendency for soul-searching all of the time. The kind who argues with the other, even though the other is their own brother. Case notes read big trust issues, emotional, always carries a box of tissues. One of those people no one can be bothered with, because their fight is too brutal, carried out with fists, not arguments. Friendly by nature, but became a hater, brought up in the wrong part of town. Changed by watching their children drown, died needlessly as the hospital cabinet ran dry. A person with shoulder pain from having their arm twisted, they've no money for shoes, so they walk on blisters. A person whose heart is big with an insatiable lust for figs. Stripped of their former glory, how many of us here tell the same old story? A person who wakes up in the night screaming because of the horrible things that they have been dreaming. A person who twitches badly at the smallest sounds, with used to the noise of bombs destroying the ground. Someone not past the point of saving, but for a period of peace, they're craving. The land of my father would be a person so irrevocably changed, if you didn't know them, you might think that they were deranged. A person who's lost a leg or an arm, and has viewed the world through prison bars. A person capable of great things, and has a lovely voice when they sing. Someone who wished I knew better, and had kept in touch with more by email, phone call, text message or letter. Someone whom I wish I could help, someone whose picture is on my shelf. A person abandoned by their friends, all the other people who know how to pretend. Someone who was bullied at school, a person who was labelled a fool, a person with the tendency to self-harm and is all too used to raising the alarm. One of those people you always feel sorry for, but when they come knocking, you don't answer the door. Someone who's struggled for much of their life and has a neighbour who just wants to fight. A person who's been driven out of their home, someone who feels that they're alone, someone who nowadays looks dishevelled and at whom false charges have been levelled. A person who's done terrible things through desperation, someone who rarely feels elation. One who speaks a beautiful language and would never turn down a falafel and hummus pizza sandwich. Someone I love very much, and despite the baggage, that fact remains as such. Unfortunately, Palestine is not a person but a place where I hope someday, some way, can have a smile on his face.